everybody, it's Gabby, and I have not been on here for quite some time, but that's because I've had a lot of stuff going on outside of work and school and everything like that. I thought I'd get into it just because it's kind of depressing and nobody wants all that. So I am going to quickly go over what I read in the month of November and then do a quick little, very over-the-top, ambitious December TBR. Plus there's one more that I've already started, but we will get down to it.
So in the month of November, I really had a list that I was going to read, but I just didn't do it. So I kind of just did my own thing with it. I feel like I shouldn't even try to do TBRs because I just don't do so well with them. But the first one that I read was Deadly Fate by Heather Graham, and this just follows a woman named Clara Avery and then a man named Thor Erickson, who is a FBI agent. Well, not yet. But it's also a Crew of Hunters book. So basically, you know that initially there's going to be some sort of paranormal investigation. There's a murder and there's Crazy Town that happens. But this one was actually a little bit more in depth than the majority of the Crew of Hunters that I have read so far. But basically, this one, it starts off as not a hoax, but basically there is a TV show called Gotcha, and they try to get people in like crazy moments, and like this one particular one that they are setting up, they set up a fake murder scene. Well, of course, the producers don't know that there was an actual murder that took place, including one of the producers of the show, and then they stumble across another dead body, and then just Crazy Town happens because it's kind of a race against time to figure out who murdered who and all this other stuff, and then there's ghosts that are helping out with the people that can talk to ghosts. But this was actually a really good one. I usually do like the Heather Graham series and the ones that I've read so far. But this one, for some reason, just really stood out to me the most, just because it had like its own little twist and turn to it, and you don't really see it actually happening until it's closer to the end of the story. The next one that I read was Columbine, and that just blew my mind because, I mean, everybody knows about the story. The two teenagers go in and they do a deadly shooting. It's a massacre, and I believe it was 12 people that died, and then multiple people were injured. A teacher died. And the amount of details that you just don't know about through the news segments is insane. Like, it took them 3 hours to go from point A to point Z, and the SWAT team didn't even know that the shooters were dead by the time that they actually entered the building because the shooters killed themselves. Which, I mean, I feel like I knew about that, like that they had killed themselves, but I didn't realize how long it took the SWAT team to go from one room to the next. And that just kind of creeps me out because since I am a teacher, the idea of sitting in a classroom with your own students for that long, not knowing what's going on and hoping that the SWAT team is getting there or whatever. But all of the stories that were intertwined about each person that was affected, each victim, and it was devastating to read. And I don't know, it was one of those stories that, I mean, Columbine and all that, it's not that I like am intrigued by it, but it just fascinates me on what promotes or provokes somebody to do something like that. And I guess one of the shooters had a mental illness, and the other one just kind of followed along with his lead, and they apparently found a drug that will sometimes alter a person's state of being in the one who had the mental illness, which was very interesting to me because you just don't know about any of that stuff. So that was one of the other ones that I read. And then I also read Sexy Saint Nick. So it follows a man, and he is referred to as Saint Nick, and then there's another one, there's a woman there who, her name is Samantha, and she comes from a high-class family, and she refuses to marry this man that her dad has set her up with. So she says that she's not going to do it, but he says the dad says if you don't, then you're cut off, whatever. So she leaves, and she decides that she's going to try to make it on her own, and along the way she meets Nick, and it's just a steamy little romance. It was a quick little read. It's by Carly Phillips. So if you like those kind of stories that's just quick and easy, definitely check it out. And then the last one that I read was The Couple Next Door, which I will be doing a more extensive review on, but I absolutely loved this. I was guessing the entire time. I think I pinpointed on one specific person about halfway through, but then at some point along the way I was second guessing everything. The premise of the story is that a couple, they leave their baby next door while they go attend a dinner party because the babysitter calls out last minute and they don't want to cancel their plans. Well, the wife, her name is Anne, she has postpartum depression, and it's very mild, but it's changed her in a lot of ways, and her husband has noticed that. His name is Marco, and she starts questioning everything. She is suspicious of her husband, but then her husband is suspicious of her, and everybody's looking at each other, and it's just mind-blowing. But I'll do a little bit more of an extensive review later on when my thoughts are less jumbled on it. But I only have these two books since the other two were on my phone, but they were all pretty good reads. Like I said, I had different expectations for the month. So for this upcoming month, well, I'm technically already in it, I am currently reading Jaws, and so far it's basically as I would picture. I mean, I've seen the movie, and it just follows a serial killer shark. In my mind, that's how I'm going to word it, and the point where I am right now, it has taken 4 victims, and they are officially going to start shutting down beaches against the advice of the city council. And it's just, if you've seen the movie, it's pretty much along those lines. The descriptions are a little bit more graphic, so when you're reading it, you're just kind of cringing because you can kind of picture it, like flesh being torn apart, bones snapping. It's kind of gruesome, so I probably shouldn't have said that, but whatever. So for this upcoming month, this is obviously my very overly ambitious one. I don't know if you can see it. My lighting is awful tonight, by the way. But this is my overly ambitious holiday collection. A lot of these are brand new. Like, I just got these two the other night by Fern Michaels. This one is Wishes for Christmas. It's an unforgettable season of giving. It's, you know, the lovely Christmas story. I'm going to hold it up a little closer so that the lighting's better. Then I have another Fern Michaels. I mean, I just said that, but it is Making Spirits Bright. There is a compilation of 4 stories. You have one by Fern Michaels, Elizabeth Bass, Rosalind Noonan, and Nan Rositer. So this should be very good. Hopefully I can get to it. That is my every intention, to get to all of these Christmassy stories. I have the Christmas Cookie Collection, which I just got from Book Outlet. I did that in one of my book hauls. This is by Lori Wilde. And then clearly Fern Michaels is just killing it with the Christmas stories. I have another compilation, Holiday Magic, and this has a story by Fern Michaels, Kathy Lamb, Mary Carter, and Terry DuLong. And then the last one that I'm going to attempt to do is Mary Kate Andrews, Christmas Bliss. So it's very Christmassy, getting me into the spirit. I haven't started reading any of them. However, I have every intention of starting this one tonight because I'm kind of done with reading Jaws for a little bit. But that was my quick little November wrap up and December TBR, which I know I'm so old. Like, I'm always so late on all of these videos that I don't know why some of you stay. But we did reach, we reached, 70 subscribers. So I know, like, when I originally set up this page, I was very overly ambitious, and I said that if I ever hit 100 subscribers, I would do a giveaway, which I am definitely still doing that. So I'm 20 away from 100, which is so exciting to me because it means a lot to me that you guys are actually following and watching my videos, and it makes me happy that people like my videos enough to subscribe. So if I hit that 100 mark, I will be doing a giveaway. I need to figure out what book it would be. I do have extra books that I accidentally bought more of. There is a Heather Graham one, Ghost Night, and then a J.R. Ward book, so I might just do a combination of those two and then do like a different giveaway if I hit 100. So I might have 2 different giveaways if I hit 100. I hope you liked this TBR, and I'm sorry that I haven't been around. I promise that there's been a good reason for it, but I'm not going to share it with you right now. Maybe one day I will decide to have a storytelling of some sort. And this is also one of my favorite nighttime shirts. The book was better. This was from my best friend last year, or 2 years ago for Christmas, so you can't go wrong with that. So hopefully, oh, and my winter break is coming up, so hopefully my overly ambitious, God, this light is awful, but hopefully I can get to these and call it a day. Okay, well, see ya. Bye.